Hello, my friends. Are you ready to make some Christmas cards? So this is my Snowy Scenes 16 card Christmas collection. If you got one of my kits, then you got the photo of all 16 cards, a list of what you need to pull together. If you're coming to class, I'll have all of it for you, except your adhesives. Bring lots of different kinds of adhesive. Three different stamp sets that I used to create this. So you're going to need stamp sets. I already used the dies, so let me show you the dies. This is the Christmas labels die, the snowy, let's see what it's called, Snowy Wonder um, dies, and then the Hug in a Mug dies. Pull those out so you can see them. So there's the Hug in a Mug dies. I did all the die cutting for you. For the most part, I'm going to show you a little trick. But I want to show you the stamp set. So if you don't have them, you're going to need to improvise. They're all still orderable. So Snowy Wonder, Christmas Labels, and Hug in a Mug. Um, and then I wanted to show you the ephemera pack. So I used tags for the season ephemera pack. You get two of each of these four different sheets of tags. These are punch outs, so they will just very super easily pop right out of there for you. One, two, three, four different sheets of fun, fabulous tags. And again, you get two sheets of each in an ephemera pack. And now I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. So in your kit, you've got a package of gems. You can set those aside. You've got a whole bunch of different pieces that are cut out. These six, so three different coffee mugs or cocoa mugs or whatever kind of mug, three different mugs, two different kind of scallopy looking pieces, and one house. Set those with all of the whites. I put all of your white die cuts that I did. This took forever, you guys. I love you. Um, all of those we're going to stamp on. So set those aside. Then you've got another pile here. Some of them have been cut for you using dies. So here's what I wanted to show you. The reason I did it this way. Okay, so the dies. The snowmen, you've got some snowmen in here. If they're totally naked like that, not wearing a hat, not wearing a scarf, then you can use this die cut right here to cut that out. But if he's got a hat or earmuffs or something, then you're going to need to use scissors to cut them. These two are already done for you. They are going to be snow globes. I'm going to set those aside. You've got a bunch of trees. Excuse me, two of the trees. This one here that you've got several of, that is this die right here. So you can cut those out with a die. You've got maybe have some penguins already cut out for you. If it is a penguin wearing a hat or earmuffs, you can't cut them out. But if it's just a penguin naked or a penguin with a scarf, this die right here will cut it out. So, oh, and if the snowman wearing a scarf, you can cut him out with a die too. So there's some cutting you're going to need to do and some stamping. So you've got that white, the bag of white and all of these. If you are doing this from home, I think this is a great screenshot right here. Let me fix the light. I think that'll help. All right, so here's two mugs, one with a heart in red, warm wishes in black, sweet as sugar plum candy in white daisy. Right, so then you get those three mugs out of the way. Or however you want to work them through. All of these are done in Evergreen. These five are in Glacier. These 5 are in candy apple or whatever red. These 2 are in white daisy. All of these are done in black. This little one is done in toffee. And then here's your ephemera. And you can stamp them as you go if you'd rather, if you're not sure what sentiments you're going to use. But if you want it to be just like mine, I went through and stamped all of my images before I popped them out just to make life easier. And so we've got kind of a guide as we're going. So work on getting everything stamped up and all of these punched out, and then we're going to start working through our first card. All right, so grab your top envelope. These are all the things that were in it. You'll need this tag, that circle tag. That piece is from the stamped images. And then I'm using the snowman with a hat, whatever snowman makes you happy. I think everybody's got the same snowman, but it might be that some have more of one particular one than others. Everyone still has 5 snowmen, but you might have 2 with this kind of hat, or no one will have more than one with the earmuffs. Oh, maybe. No, that's not true. This one has 2 earmuffs. No one will have 2 of the one with the other hat, because that's the one that there's only like 1 or 2 on a sheet of those. Anyway, doesn't matter. You've got plenty of snowmen to pick from. All right, so I'm using a blending brush and some red ink, and I'm just going to coat this with some red, and I'm going to do a little blend of red on this circle. And then if you wanted to, you could also add some red right across the word Christmas. You also can color it. I used markers to color, so if you want to color it, you can do that too, but I think I'm just going to blend it on this particular one. All right. And that's really it for prep work. If you want to, you can use your scissors to cut this off, or you can just tuck it underneath. But this little lump right here is not going to be seen. And I did use a journaling pen and go around the edge. Let me bring this up close so you can see what I'm talking about here. All right, so I used a journaling pen to go around the edges there. If you want to do that, you can. I used a white gel pen to do dashes on this piece up here. You can do that if you want to, but let's assemble. So we're going to start with this piece up in the corner, and I already put adhesive on that. And then if you want to use a pen or a paintbrush or something just to help with this part, you're just going to curl that corner down a little bit. And then once it goes, it's easy to kind of manipulate. And then your tape here. I'm putting it right on here. And then it's going to go down in the corner. And up here, you may have to, you just want to make sure that it doesn't go past where that line is, because you don't want the white of the card base showing. And then I'm just putting some tape on there to hold it in place. There's that. And then we're going to add just a little bit of color down the side. So I'm putting that piece first, and then I'm going to go back through with the gold next to it. Add my Merry Christmas, and that's going to butt right up to that. If you want, you can add some foam tape to your snowman, or you can lay him flat, but his booty is covering up the hole on that tag. This circle is going to tuck down to help kind of show that that really is coming right out of behind there. And then we've got this little candy cane here. Boom, boom. Done with our first card. Grab your next envelope. I forgot to show you bling. So that's a big gem and 2 little gems on that one to finish that up. Gather up your supplies, couple of little tiny pieces, your penguin that's on the globe, Swedish sugar plum candy, or whatever you stamped on that green base. And then here's what came in the card. This one can go right on your card front. Grab some kind of orangey, or even with penguins, you could do gray um, to cover in that beak and feet for this cute little guy here. Then I'm going to take the Glacier ink and I'm just laying my white embossed. So I already ran that through the embosser for you. I'm just going to lightly rub my ink, my blue ink over top of that. And that's going to help pop all those beautiful embossed snowflakes on that piece. Then this goes center of the card. I'm going to put most of the snowflakes on the bottom. But you do you, whatever makes you happy. Then you can pop this or leave it flat if you want. But we've got our penguin. Oh, and I even, if you want, I took a Glacier brush, Glacier ink, and just kind of went around that snow globe a little bit too. Give a little color around the edges. You could even go in with the little snowflakes and add a couple of snowflakes to it. That's where the gems are actually, is on snowflakes on there. But for the sake of the video, I'm going to leave that off. Then we've got the base to that snow globe goes down there. That beautiful gold foil tree goes inside the snow globe, and then the snowflake. Make sure you pop all those little itty bitty pieces out of the middle of that snowflake. And then that I'm going to tuck behind the snow globe just to help that snow globe pop a little bit. And then 1, 2, 3 different gems. And that card is done. Aren't these fun? I love the way the light picks up the gold and the gems. Grab the pieces and we're going to do some prep work. So you need a sanding block and that piece of paper that I used, the So Swirly Embossing Folder. Let me show you these embossing folders that I use because they're awesome. So they're So Swirly, and that one's really long. This is like 6 by 6, so that makes this one maybe 6 by 8, much longer. And then this one is the one with all the fun snowflakes, and that one's called Snowflake Sky. And this one's 3D, so it's thicker and goes a little deeper. All right, so I'm just going to use that sanding block over top of the So Swirly. And as I sand, you'll see the white core exposed. Isn't that just lovely? So now that piece is done. Let's do our snow globe next. I'm going to add, again, just a little bit of that crushed curry onto his nose and Glacier around the edge of the snow globe. Just a light blue. You could even use a gray if you wanted to, just creating that little kind of haze. And with this, you can even go, if you wanted to do the whole sky with this one, you can go right up close to that snowman. Just make sure you leave him white. You don't want him in blue snow. All right, so that takes care of that one. And then this piece here, I'm going to use a green ink and a green brush, which I think I left in the other rooms. So go with this one. I'm using this color in all the rooms lately, all my different crafting spaces. Different projects going on everywhere, you guys. It's that time of year. So I've just turned that white tag green by adding a little color to it. And now we are ready to make this one happen. All right, so grab your card base. We're going to start with that pattern paper. That'll go flush against the edge with the So Swirly next to it. And then let's go ahead and do our tags along the top first. So the one that came in the ephemera pack, we're going to do first, the one that's got that fun color already done for it. Then we're going to take the green piece that we just colored and slightly overlapping the white of the first tag. And I want that hanging off the edge a little bit. And then we've got that gold foil piece that we're going to cut the end of to create the dovetail there. And that's going to overlap both of these. And I'm going to make sure I cover up that hole from that first tab and then flip it over and cut off anything hanging. He didn't see very good, did he? All right, and then we're going to go with, you can use foam tape and pop this if you want, or you can just lay it flat. I'm going to slightly overlap this dovetail up here, and I'm doing this slightly off center, but you could do it right in the center if you want. With our season's greetings under, and then we've got one gem at, up top there. And then I did 3 different snowflakes and a big snowflake with a big gem, and then 2 little snowflakes with little gems to finish that off. You bring that up close so you can see. Grab your next envelope. All right, here's our next card. So inside your envelope, there's a piece of embossed paper. I'm going to do the same thing here. Just use that Glacier ink and rub that over top. To go through all of my close to my heart inks and write what the Stampin' Up! Correlated ink color is so that I can start using the right names. All right. And then I'm using, let's see, what is this parade, right? Poppy Parade. Poppy Parade. And I'm just going to write in the open spots on that tab. It's nice because it's just straight lines. But it really does help it pop, right? And then let's get this on a card base and we'll get this assembly going. It really is pretty simple once you get the, the start of it going. Everyone's snow globe is going to look different, obviously. There's only one of each on a sheet of, would be very expensive class if everybody had to have their own. So let's start up in this corner. We're going to put our little mountains on there first. I'm doing the biggest mountain and then the smallest one next to it, with the littlest tree in between them both. Then down in the corner, I would say about an inch up from the bottom and pretty close to the edge there, I'm going to put that tree. Now, if you want, you can use foam tape and lift the snow globe. That is going to cover up a little bit of the tree and the mountain up top. Then we've got the base, and everyone's base might be a little bit different. Again, same thing. It's all part of the snow globes. Just happens to be that mine's the same one, but That was luck of the draw of which kit I grabbed. All right. Then, so fun, right? And then to finish this off, I did one little gem here and a big and a little down here. And that fabulous, lovely card is finished. Grab your next envelope. So with this one, here's all the supplies you're going to need. The first thing we're going to do is use that sanding block and just reveal the white core of the paper. Then you're going to pinch and pull and rip down the edge of one. Before we go any further, I want you to take those strips and add them to the edge of the card. Because this is going to help you determine how wide this green piece needs to be. This fits there. I want it to go right about here-ish. So I'm just going to give myself a little marker, and then I might have to go back through and give it another tear. Oh, it looks great. All right. So that's going to go down, showing both those pretty little strips. And now let's build the front. You want your snow globe. And again, with your snow globe, everybody's is going to be different. You get one sheet and they're all different ones. So I cut that kit into 6 different projects. Then your base to the snow globe. And we've got some tabs. And these are looking like they're kind of hanging out from the, ooh, that's going to go down further. From the edge of the snow globe. So this let it snow is going to overlap this right in there. And then we've got our snowman who needs his nose colored. He is kind of sitting on let it snow on the words. And then you may want to, I'm just going to take a little bit of extra adhesive and make his arms sit down. Then we've got a big gem and a big and a little up top to finish that one off. Grab your next envelope. Pull all of the pieces together. We're going to start by sanding that so swirly. So go ahead and give that a nice sanding. And after you're done sanding it, you can add it to your card front. Next, I'm going to use a green ink on the Love You a Latte tag. And on this long, thin one that's got the gold embellishing on it. You really can use any color here because they help balance each other out. All right, so I'm going to take this one, this long one here, and that's going to go about 3/4 of an inch up from the bottom. Then I'm going to take this white one, and I'm going to have the tab cover up the hole here. The hole is going to, on this white one, is going to hang off the edge, and we're just going to snip that off. And then extra fun there. All right, now we're going to use, you can use scissors or you can use a cutting tool. And I'm actually going to just line this right up on the edge of the card, making sure that it's a hot cocoa day is hanging off the edge because I need that for my next card. And I'm just going to trim that right off the edge and then set that aside because again, we're going to use that very soon. All right, Love You a Latte is going to overlap this arch here. So we're just kind of building some fun little clusters of tags. This cut is not that straight. All right, and then we've got our mug. So we've got our whipped cream that I'm going to slide kind of down into the mug a little bit. And then the whole thing is going to go right here on our card. And then again, if you want, you can foam tape these, layer everything up or leave it flat. But I've got our little penguin and then big little gems and then a big gem up here. Finishes that one off. Let's grab our next one. All right, there's the pieces that we need. We are going to take this teeny tiny little tree and I'm just using some green ink over top of it with the brush to make him green. Then I'm going to use the sanding block and sand off some of this so swirly. The other option, if you want, instead of sanding, is you can use ink. So I'm going to do that on this one, just show you a different option and how it looks different. But still shows you the same kind of depth that the embossing folder can give you. All right, let's grab a card base and get going on it. All right, so this one's going to go about a half of an inch down from the top, leaving room for us to put that little gold strip above it. And that is probably too long, so just give it a little trim off the edge. Sometimes it's easier for me to just cut stuff in half, you know? All right, so then It's Hot Cocoa Day is going to, I'm going to tuck mine slightly underneath so that if I didn't cut it quite straight, you won't notice. We've got our mug that's going to overlap just a little bit there. Our marshmallows are going to tuck down in. Easier said than done. I should have done this before I stuck it on. Then we've got our cute little tree. It's going to go down on the words. Our snowman kind of comes down next to It's a Cocoa. I put a baby gem there and two bigger ones right there. There is that card. Grab your next one. Grab your supplies. Let's take the red ink and I'm just going to rub that over top of the red embossed paper with the So Swirly. Then I'm going to take that same red ink and just blend some color around the edge of the white candy cane paper. Then that can go, oh, let's keep doing a couple more process things. On this tag, I'm just adding red along the bottom. Then on the spoon, I'm using some gray ink. All right, I think we're good on process. Grab your card and attach the candy cane paper. All right, and now we're going to take that so swirly, and that's going to have a bit of an angle to it. You want to make sure that all 4 points of that paper are hanging off of the edge. And then line that green right up underneath it. Go ahead and trim. Okay. So I'm going to take my green circle and my 2U tab and kind of put them together. And I'm putting it so that um, the dots kind of overlap there. And that's going to go down in this corner. Then we want to put our the steam that's coming out of our coffee mug here needs to go kind of into the mug. And if you want, you can foam tape it, or that can just get taped down. Grab your little tag, a little tea bag tag, and hook the edge so it's hanging right out of there. Mhm. And you just want to angle that so that it's coming down kind of into the cup handle. And then I'm going to take this little spoon and just slightly tuck it behind the cup, making sure that it stays on the card. I've got a big gem and 2 little gems right there. That is that one. Let's work on our next one, shall we? All right, so here's our supplies. I'm going to take the Glacier ink and rub it over top of that embossed piece. And then using the marker, the red marker, just adding some color into Winter Wishes. So to the front of the card, you're adding that patterned piece, and then add the Glacier embossed piece on top of that. Grab that gold. And what we're doing here is you want to make sure, again, all 4 corners are hanging off, but you want the top part or the bottom part of the gold here to land where they connect, and over here on the bottom. So it gives you that kind of scaled look. So it actually looks like this paper is angled that way and this paper is angled that way. We were able to keep them straight, but just angled one of the pieces. Isn't that a fun little trick? Doesn't it totally look like you've angled everything? Ha ha ha. Trick you. All right. So we've got our Winter Wishes that's going to go kind of in the center, as close to center as you can. And then if you want to pop any of these embellishments, you can. I took a black journal pen and just added a line to the roof and around each of the 3 windows, just around the edges and around the door. So if you wanted to enhance it like that, you could. And get my little snowman guy on there, making sure he's not covering up any of the words. And then I finished this card off by adding 2 gems here and 2 gems here. That's the bigger ones. You pick whichever ones you want to play with. Here's the card we're working on. Grab your sanding block. Here's all the pieces we're going to need. Pull those. So I'm going to start by just sanding this piece down. Go ahead and add those blue pieces to the top and bottom of your card front. And then we're going to, this one's a little trickier when you're tearing it because it kind of tears along the swirls. So, be a little mindful of that. I just want to check and see how much I have on the other side. And then this goes on the front of the card. All right, then we've got grab your love and joy, and then using that red marker, I'm going to add every other line I did color. So there's little tiny lines in the love and joy. So that will give you that kind of candy cane look to those when you do that. Get all those colored. And then again, beak and feet of your pengy. And we're ready to assemble. So the word love is going about an inch down on the green, lined right up along the edge. Then joy is, you want it to be kind of spaced about an inch, 3/4 of an inch in between them. This might hang off a little bit, that's okay. Turn it over and give a little trim. And we're going to take this tab with the dot, the hole in the tag. I want that to be on the bottom because our penguin's butt is going to cover that up. So we've got this tree, the little tiny tree that's going to go at the end of the word joy, almost like an exclamation mark coming out of the word joy. And our penguin is going to be covering up part of the tree and part of the hole. Got him. Then the other little tree is going to go up top with the penguin that we stamped and colored, standing next to that tree. And then our big tree, I'm going to tuck behind here so that you can see it. You know, I think it helps kind of pull everything together over here. Again, if you want, you can use foam tape for any of these little guys. I have a little gem here and a big and a little up here. And that will finish up that card. Grab your next envelope. Start by using the sanding block over top of just the edges of that green piece that was done in the So Swirly. Then we're going to take the candy cane piece and tear down the long edges. And then we're going to put some gold on either side of that tear. One there, here, and then I'm just going to put some more tape on the back of that to make sure everything holds in place. This is not, he's crooked. All right, so there's that. Now I used some green ink and just sponged onto this tab here, but this time I'm going to leave it plain white. You've seen me sponge plenty of times. You know how to do it now. Then I've got warm and cozy that's going to kind of overlap that tag. So we've got kind of a cluster. I did the same thing here, added some green down here using the sponge, you know, just kind of up into there. We've got this little house. Again, I used some pens. Let me bring that up close so you can see. I used a pen to just enhance the trim on the house. And I'm making sure that the house is covering up the hole on the tag. Then using the marker, just adding some color. Use the fine point is a little easier to use on these tiny spaces. And there's a big stripe and a little stripe. You decide if you want to color both. I did both on here. On this one, I'm just doing the bigger, you know, like the medium-sized spacing. Add our little candy cane, and then a big and two little gems to complete that one. So this paper is actually, it has a UV coating, like a protective coating on it. So as you're sanding it, you'll find that it has a different kind of sanding feel to it and doesn't reveal the white core quite the same. I'm actually going to leave it just with the shiny part for this particular one. All right, then I'm going to add this holly evenly spaced here and here. So 3 sides evenly spaced. If you want, you can, I used the scissors and edge distressed just along one side of this. Kind of roughs it up a little bit so that then when we tape it down, you'll have a little bit of white kind of showing along the edge there. Kind of curls it up a little bit. Then we've got some layering to do. So we're going to do a tab that kind of falls a little bit onto the red. We've got our Be Merry that's going to cover up the hole on that one. Then the holly tucks behind there with the berries on top of the Be Merry. Right, so we've got kind of that cluster happening there. And then we've got this cute little penguin down in the corner wearing his little top hat. Big, big little gem. Yay. So on here, I used the sanding block and I sanded it. But on this one, I used the ink and rubbed it over top. Just depends on what look you're going for. We're going to add some little tabs. You may notice as we're going through these that the cards seem to be getting easier and easier as we go. Yeah, that's by design. I did that on purpose, you guys, because I know by the time we get to the end, it's like, oh my goodness, we've been creating cards forever. And we have, you're right. But these last few, we've only got a couple left and they're going to go super, super quick. All right, so we've got our piece on earth. Make sure you pop that little circle out of the tab. This is not straight or sticking. There we go. It's on embossed paper, so you really got to give it a nice firm press. All right, so you want to make sure you're covering up the hole there, but not necessarily the snowflake, and this kind of gets centered-ish. Then we've got the tree that we stamped. It's going to go down in this corner on top of there. And then this tree that we stamped with our snowman. You probably only have 2 snowmen left. Grab one that has a hat or a scarf or earmuffs or something. And then gems, I did little, little, little in the middle of snowflakes. So I stamped 1, 2, 3 snowflakes and put gems inside to finish that one off. All right, friends, gather supplies, home stretch here. Just a few to go. Glacier or whatever your blue is that you're going to brush here. And then I'm also going to add some over the words here. And then around the edges of the snowflake piece. You also could take the ink and just rub it over top if you want. But on this one, I'm just putting ink around the edges of all 4 sides. And that's going to pick up some of that snowflakey look, but still leave a bunch of it white. Okay, and layering. So card base. Then we've got our holly that gets framed at the top. So even spaced top, left and right. we'll add our tag. Go ahead and pop that little hole out. And that's overlapping, kind of framed left and right on that green. Getting rid of the hole in that one too. And then this tag, if you wanted, you could pop it, foam tape. I'm just going to overlap. Then our tree goes in this corner. And we've got our snowman that's going to overlap that. He's kind of waving into the tree there. Big little gem to finish that one off. So you're going to need some snowflakes, your Happy New Year little penguin, and this arrow. With the penguin, I've already colored his feet and his nose. With the So Swirly, I used Glacier ink and rubbed over top. Then with this white tab, we're going to create an ombre effect. So we're on the end that doesn't have the dot, we're going to make that end super dark. Layers and layers of ink to make that nice and dark, and then work our way up, making it lighter and lighter. But making sure that you're blending where the light and the dark meet so that you don't have a dramatic change. Isn't that fun? Yay. Put it right on white so you can see how fun of an ombre that created for us. All right, card base. Add your So Swirly embossed piece. We've got, now you can eyeball this. I think it's way easier to add this white piece first and then pull your gold up next to it. But you want to kind of have your spacing even all the way around there. So just eyeball it. To me, that's close enough of an even on the left and top and bottom. All right, now we've got that piece we just ombre'd, and I didn't put any adhesive near the point because I want to be able to tuck my Happy New Year behind there so that Happy New Year is kind of being pointed to. And we've got our 3 snowflakes, big, little, and medium. And our penguin, again, if you want to use foam tape, you can. I'm just going to put him right on there. And then I did big, little gems to finish that one off. The gold really catches the light, doesn't it? And we're working on our last card now, friends. So wrangle together all the pieces you've got left. I used the Evergreen ink and rubbed that over top of the card, added it to my card front. We've got this tag. If you want, you can use a journaling pen and I did dot dashes all the way around this tag right here. I'm not going to do it for the sake of the video, but you get the idea. It's a fun, beautiful addition. All right, so this tag is going to hang off of the bottom of the card just a little bit. You want to make sure that you keep the tree stump, but beyond that, you can scalp it. Then we've got celebrate the holidays in all the ways. Our penguin. Ooh, I got green fingers, so I'm getting green on everything. And this little present. And then I did a big little to finish that one off. And that is our last card, my friends. Can you believe how quickly we went through 16 cards? I hope you had fun. Please comment. And again, if you don't have the stamps, come on over and create with me. Thanks for watching.